Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Welcome to Lady Khadija radiallahu anha online college live lesson, A-level maths year 2. Today we're continuing our topic this week of arithmetic sequences. It's chapter 3 if you're following in the book, examples 2 and 3. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. In the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful. So today you are just taking a sequence of numbers. It's a simple sequence. The numbers are just going up by a certain amount or going down by a certain amount. So the first one is 6, 20, 34, 48, 62, and so on. And you have to work out the nth term. So the general formula that you have to memorize is that we can describe any sequence that's going up by something or going down by something constant as the first term plus n minus 1 in brackets times d. d is the difference between the two terms, each pair of terms, so that's plus 14. So we'll have d is 14. N can just stay as n. You're trying to work out a formula for the nth term, so n just stays as n. A is the very first number, and we call that formula the nth term formula, or un for short. So if we just follow the formula a plus n minus 1d, which you do have to memorize. So 6 is the first number, so that's your a, plus then n minus 1 can stay in brackets. And d is 14, so I'm timesing by 14. Better to have 14 at the front. So it's 6 plus 14, then brackets n minus 1, which I can just simplify by expanding out the brackets. And then the 6 and the minus 14 can be joined together. So that would make minus 8. And then the minus 8, it's better to have a negative number come afterwards. It's easier, it's nicer to look at. So 14n minus 8. So that's the formula, and why do we do that? Because if you want to work out the 50th term or the 100th term, it's going to take too long to keep going number by number. So here, if I want to work out the 100th term, I can just put in 14 times 100, take away 8, and that's your answer. Case just one where the numbers are going down, just to show you what happens when the difference between the pair of numbers is going down. So this one, 101, 94, 87, 80, and 73. So we want the general formula, the nth term formula. So we start with a plus n minus 1d as something you memorized. That's your un. And now think, what is a? What am I going to leave alone? And what's d? So a is your first term, 101. N minus 1 can stay as n minus 1. The d, the difference is going down by 7. So you have to put a minus 7 here. So it's times by minus 7. So times by minus 7, it's better to put that at the front. Don't really need the brackets now, it's at the front. So minus 7 times n minus 1. The plus and a minus makes a minus. And then expand that out. Be careful of the minus here and the minus here before the 1. So minus 7 times minus 1 makes a plus 7. The 101 and the plus 7 can go together. So that's 108. So 108 minus 7n is your nth term, called un. Okay, now going on to something a little bit harder, which is where, let's just take a look at the book. Here we know we don't know much of the sequence. We just know two numbers within the sequence, and they're not the first two, so that makes it a little bit trickier. So what we know is the third number in the sequence, and we know the fifth number in the sequence. So here a sequence is generated. You can ignore the formula for now. U3 means the third number in the sequence is 5. And the 8th number in the sequence is 20. So let's try and Picture that. So we got 5, and then some way along we got 20. So what they're saying is that the third term is 5, u3, and then the 8th term, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, that's fine. The 8th term is 20. And they want you to work out the formula. So just to make it easy for you, they want the formula in the form of a plus bn, which just means some number plus some other number times n. So not to panic, we start with our general formula that a plus n minus 1d is the general formula. Let's focus on u3 now. So u3, we don't know what the first term in the sequence is, because remember, this 5 is not the first term, it's the third term. So we can't say 5 is the first. There's numbers before that. So we just leave a as a, but we do know what n is. u3 means the third term, so we can say n is 3. The difference we don't know. We could probably have a good guess based on how many numbers there are in between, but we'll just take it easy and let the algebra do the work. So and we also know u3, the answer to u3 is 5, so the 5 can go there. So we got 5 is equal to a, we don't know. 3 take away 1 just makes 2, and then the d we don't know, so we just leave it as that. Now let's focus on the u5, the u8 here. So we'll do a similar thing with the u8. General formula is a plus n minus 1d. And let's focus on u8. So it's the same sequence, it's just we're looking at a different number within the sequence. We're looking at the 8th number. So the 8th number is 20, so we can put the 20 for u8. The a is unknown. The n, we do know it's 8, so we can say it's 8 take away 1 for the bracket bit. And the d, the difference, we don't know. We like before, it's the same sequence, we're trying to work it out. So let's take that and let's just move that down a bit and simplify. So we have 20 is equal to a plus, and then a minus 1 makes 7, 7d. So that's a second equation which we can put alongside the first equation and try and solve it using simultaneous equations. Always better to put the bigger one at the top, the smaller one at the bottom, because then when we subtract, it's nice and easy. We get positive numbers, so we're going to just take away the two equations. We can take away straight away because the a's already match up, otherwise we'd have to do some timesing to try and get, if the d's don't match, then the a's have to match, or if the a's don't match, then we'd have to try and get the d's to match. But here the a's match nicely, so we can just do a takeaway. So on the left of the equal sign, 20 take away 5, that's 15. The a's will cancel out because a take away a is nothing. And then 7d take away 2d is 5d. So now that's pretty good. 5 times a number is equal to 15. Divide by both by 5 and we get 3 is equal to d. Now that we have d, it should be quite easy to work out what a is because we can put it back into any of the two equations we had here. Let's choose the easier one, which is this one. And now taking the d as 3 and putting that here, 2 times 3 would be 6. So I'll have 5 is equal to a plus 6. So something plus 6 has to make 5. Let's take away 6 from both sides. Minus 1 is equal to a. So we have a is equal to minus 1, 3 is equal to d. So our general formula, a plus n minus 1d. We know what the a is now. It's minus 1. Minus 1. We know what the d is. It's 3, and that can go at the beginning of the bracket. Then expand and simplify. So 3n. And then the 3 times the minus 1, minus 3. The minus 3 can join the minus 1, so that's minus 4. Minus 4 plus 3n is the formula we need, and that's the nth term, otherwise known as un. Just going to move that a bit to the right to make space. We can check that formula by putting it back in using, we know what the third term is, we know what the eighth term is. So let's try the third term. Third term is 5, or the eighth, yeah, let's try the third term is 5. So if we say un, n is the third term, so 3 times 3 is 9, minus 4 add 9 makes 5, so that's good. So that formula is pretty good to go. And join me again tomorrow for more sequences. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Peace be with you and the blessings of God.